1200 metres for race number 8. And we've got Roman Turbo at the top of the book. Blake Shin replaces Jerry Chow. Toronado Phantom has a good record, course and distance. Diamond Brilliant wears a visor again. Lucky Swayness has won his first 2 starts and carries an extra £12 for his previous win. Meridian Genius is a last start winner. He carries an extra £6 as well. Pride of 8, who was pretty heavily supported at longer odds on debut, into 53 to 1. He went green. He steps up in trip to the 1200. Sunset Watch wears a tongue tie again. California Redwood was George Peabody for Roger Varian. Won over the 1400 at Doncaster and 1600 at Thirsk. And Dublin Star makes his Happy Valley debut. All right, so that's the starter list for race number 8. What about the speed map, Tom? Importantly, where's Lucky Swayness likely to settle?
He should land on the pace again, provided he can get away cleanly like he did last start, where he was able to get to the front and dictate from there. Flaming Passion's a horse that likes to go forward. High Rise Soldier can be handy. Doesn't look ideal, Paul, for Roman Turbo, especially coming back to the 1200 metres.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have the pace to get across, unfortunately, so he's just going to be out of no man's land there, I thought. I thought High Rise Soldier's got the pace to come across, though, with Lucky Swayness, and Flaming Passion can kick up. Meridian Genius has been racing well recently. He won't be too far away, and we know Diamond Brilliant likes to be a little bit handier as well.
There he is, 4th on the outside in Diamond Brilliant. We're going to start, though, with the boom horse of the night. Lucky Swayness. Zach Purton is on board, and he had a chat via Zoom to Tom.
Zach, you're right. Lucky Swayness for Manfred Mann in race number 8. Unbeaten in 2 runs to date so far. You were on board for his first run. Second start you weren't, but has he given you a feeling off that debut run that he looked pretty impressive there, I thought?
Yeah, he was impressive at his first start, and he's probably even more impressive at his second start. He's a horse that he's not straightforward. He can do a few things wrong, as was evidenced in his trial. When I tried him on the dirt, he wanted to hang and run away from the other horses, and he hadn't been that great out of the gates, and he took that to his first start under lights at Happy Valley. He'd never been there before. It's always a tough ask for any young horse there. So he's a little bit slow to step, but he showed quick speed to get in behind the other horses and get in behind the lead. And then in the straight, when he had to shift back in and take the run, he took it, but he wanted to hang in, and he was a little bit wary of the other horses, and then got through there and finished the race off nicely. And then his second start, he certainly worked out how to jump. He flew out of the gates, took it up nicely. He had a really light weight. Joe just let him run, and he basically run his rivals into the ground, but he's got a lot more weight to carry this time. He's not going to be able to race in a similar manner. I'm going to have to try and harness his energy a little bit more. I think there's a little bit more pressure in this race as well, so that'll be interesting. We'll have to see how that unfolds going into the first corner, but hopefully he can begin as well as he did last time, and if that's the case, then he'll put himself in the right spot.
So for a young horse, he's still pretty raw then?
He's still a little bit raw, but he seems like he's quite a clever horse. He's obviously picked things up quite quickly, and I hope that he continues to do that.
In his morning work, sort of how do you think he's progressed since that last one, even more so since the debut that you were on board for?
Seems a little bit more switched on these days, and they've worked him out a little bit more. Instead of sending him out on his own, they quite often send him out with a work partner to follow or a partner to pick up, because he can be a little bit lazy. But that's just, part and parcel of learning the little idiosyncrasies of each horse in the stable, and they look like they're on top of it.
You've gone up 12 rating points and a further 12 pounds in the weights as well. Just being a 3-year-old, there's nowhere to hide here in Hong Kong. Is he good enough to win again?
Well, I hope so, but it's always a big ask. Whenever a horse gets slammed by the handicapper, as he was in this case, and they go from carrying those really light weights to a much heavier weight. It's always a concern, and he's a young horse. He's quite inexperienced, as we've touched on. So, it's not going to be easy for him, but, he's trending the right way, and hopefully he can just get his chance. And
just quickly harking back to the weekend, California Spangle and the Derby, now that the dust has settled a little bit. Gee, was gutsy there, wasn't he?
Oh, he was. He was all hard. He had everything against him. Obviously, the barrier draw was not ideal for him, especially going up to the 2,000 metres for the first time. We knew the distance was going to stretch him, and there's quite a strong headwind into us as we were jumping out of the gates. And then I had to press him a little bit more than what I wanted to get across, and that just fired him up. He never really relaxed and come back underneath me. Obviously, as we got around to the 1400, Roy Meyer rolled up around the outside of him and kept him thinking about it a little bit more. And then, in the straight, I had to peel him out away from the worst part of the track. He got a little bit lost. He didn't know what he was doing or what I was asking him to do. And as he balanced up, he had to fight off Money Catcher. And like I said, that wind was really strong into his face, but he just kept trying and trying and trying. And it was a phenomenal performance. He only just got beat on the line. It was a really good effort from
Hopefully that bird finds a mate very, very shortly. All right, let's bring up the graphic, Tom, on Lucky Sway Ness. He can't have done any more than what he's done, but he does go up, as you and Zach pointed out, a lot of weight this week. Yeah,
12 extra pounds, 12 rating points, but look, I think he can handle it. He's just a 3-year-old, Paul, so he's doing things that we don't see too many 3-year-olds do early in their careers here in Hong Kong, especially at Happy Valley.
He's a very, very smart horse, isn't he? And look, the way he won that race, I know one of his main riders, rivals, the Tornado Phantoms, in the race as well. But I think he had him well covered, didn't he?
He did, and he's going to give him a start this week again, likely Tornado Phantom. He's drawn 12, the grey. We move on to another grey here, Paul, in Meridian Genius. He's going well, and he's also got a very good draw. Yeah, he's going really well, and look, they've been riding him a little bit handier, and it sort of really worked for this horse. Look, he's won. This race was pretty impressive when he did win last time, so a horse in really good form from a good draw. So, yeah, he's another one of the chances.
Yeah, he's been able to win 2 of his last 4 starts now. Of course, the form's been franked with the Eason coming out and winning since. But once he got into the clear after that good run, he really dashed strongly there. The other thing in his favour, Tom, as we have a look at the graphic for the C+3 1200 metre start, Barrier 1 has an amazing record here, and Barrier 2 is his next best. Yeah, well, Sunset Watch, he hasn't been going that well. He's come up with Barrier 1, but Meridian Genius certainly has got plenty of claims there from Barrier number 2. You can see the stats are pretty even across the board there for Barrier number 2.
Yeah, so look, obviously the inside draws really help, and if you've got a bit of speed, that helps you a lot as well. But I just think Lucky Sway Ness can sort of take that out of the equation with his really good gate speed. Barrier number 8 for Lucky Sway Ness. Here's Sunset Watch, who Tom just pointed out, Paul's just going fair at the moment. And Flaming Passion's racing well. Yeah, he is, isn't he? And he comes in with a lightweight, and he's got barrier number 6. Look, Sunset Watch, as you mentioned, he's got that inside draw earlier on. The tongue tie will go back on him. Look, he's a horse that has run okay at Happy Valley before, but his win did come up the all-weather.
Run into a couple of handy horses there, seizing the moment. He had the blinkers on, Party Warrior, who was second. Just wonder if in that run he might have been a little bit keen, but still stayed on well. He just wanted to lay in a fraction there, sort of the last 100 or so also. We head to Chung Fa now, Tom, and this is California Redwood, about to make his debut in Hong Kong on Wednesday night. He was a 2-time winner in Europe before arriving. 5 trials. Now, this was his trial 2 runs ago when he was beaten a length behind Proud Dragon. What have you made of him since he's been here? His recent trial, he was a little bit slow out. He was just leaning on the inside partition of the gate, but he kept on okay, I thought, in that trial. I'm happy to watch Paul. He was in the Britannia Stakes, a race that the Hong Kong owners like to target, and was a long way down the 29-horse field there. So I'm just happy to watch here.
Yeah, me too. Like, his wins are over sort of longer, 14, 16. I think this will be a starting point for him, the 1200 metres. California Redwood is by Holy Roman Emperor. So, look, I think the distance is going to be the key here.
So he's not going to make it in your top 4. Paul, does Lucky Sway Ness win again?
Yeah, I think he can. I think Lucky Sway Ness, look, he did win with a bit in hand, and Joe was quite kind to him. I know he's going to carry the weight, but I don't think it's going to be an issue. And the horse learned a lot, I thought, from start 1 to start 2. Tornado Phantom will be the biggest danger, but Lucky Sway Ness will have the head start on him. He's in there for second. Flaming Passion from a good draw, and he'll be in a nice position. And High Rise Soldier was a nice win 2 starts ago. It was a good ride from Zach on that occasion, but look, I think he can finish in a minor place. 5, 2, 11 and 6.
Same TS as Paul. I think Lucky Sway Ness is going to be too tough for them here again, even though he's got the extra 12 pounds to carry. I think he's good enough to beat, again, Tornado Phantom. He made good enough ground on the straight last start. Flaming Passion boxed on, and thought Diamond Brilliant. He was sort of 3-back defence. He was travelling well, and then he was held up just on turning in and lost a bit of momentum there behind the Coney County. So 5, 2, 11 and 3.